There is a world where man and soul pets exist, and they prosper as master and summoned creatures. Ominous thunder and wind dance on the land known as Nightmare Island. In a facility, there are gathered 100 crying and scared children with barely kept clothes. The captors are adults with religious robes who are opening up magic circles on the ground. Among the crowd of children is an unscared boy named Yuki, and he recounts that they are experiment subjects about to participate in the 10th fight experiment. One of the magic circles summons a giant wolf monster. Yuki explains that they are subjected to cruel experiments with the purpose of stimulating the growth of the evil soul pet's force within them. If the growth of the child is not as fast as the evil soul pet within, then the soul pet will devour them. No matter if the option is to be killed or devoured, Yuki says he will survive no matter what. The leader of the area, Deacon Carl, stands on a high platform to tell the children that today is a physical fitness test. He announces that since only 50 of them will continue training, half of them will die today. He declares that the children should enjoy the sweetness of death as if the test itself were something honorable. The wolf monster, known as the hunting wolf, charges at the children and eats the arm of one of them. It starts a panic, and many of them run away in tears. Meanwhile, Yuki is analyzing the situation as he runs and determines from the hunting wolf's appearance that it has already reached the 8th stage. He determines that they can't fight the monster directly, and they need to do their best to avoid it until only 50 children remain. The men in robes are laughing as they see the children run and die. Yuki comes across the kid Sean, who is suspiciously not running. Yuki warns him that the monster is already behind him. With a twisted smile, Sean suddenly grabs Yuki's arm as he throws him in the direction of the beast's mouth. Yuki pushes himself off from the hunting wolf's direction and manages to dodge its attack and run away from it again. He sees that he can't outrun it. He ducks, but it manages to wound his back with its sharp claws. The stinging pain makes him see that the smell of his back wound made it even more keen to get to him. It charges at him and pins him to the ground. Yuki struggles to push its head away from his face. Carl then announces that the test is over, making the wolf retreat away from Yuki. Carl announces that there are 50 left for now, but tomorrow's task is for the children to freely roam around the island to capture and sign a soul pact with a soul pet so they can use it in battle for the next test. The children lick their wounds and try to leave the field. Meanwhile, Yuki tries to get up, only for him to collapse in exhaustion. The next morning, Carl goes to a castle. The servant tells him that their leader, Shin, is looking for him. Carl goes to Shin's office and bows down before his leader. Shin asks him if Yuki has already died. Carl answers that he has not, for the time being. Shin finds it strange that the boy survived the white nightmare evil soul he forced upon him. Carl asks if he can just kill the boy himself. With a cold glare, Shin orders Carl to let the boy be so that Yuki can nurture the white nightmare within him more and see how long he will last. The children discover Yuki still unconscious on the ground. With his wound, they believe he won't last much longer. Sean shows up and pours water on him, which forces Yuki to wake up. Sean taunts Yuki by saying he is fine. This grates on Yuki's teeth. Sean tells him not to look at him that way. He pushes Yuki's head to the ground as he tells him to worry about the nightmare inside him rather than resent him. The bully laughs as he predicts that Yuki will die soon from his nightmare or the hunting wolf's claws. Secretly, Yuki wants to get back at Sean. Despite his fury, Yuki gets knocked cold from being too weak. He wakes up later with bandages on his wounds in his camp house bed. His roommate, Tina, sees that he is awake. Yuki teases that he is glad to see her not dead. Tina angrily tells him that he'd better be glad she is not, since she's the only one willing to help him with his wounds. Yuki thanks her since he feels much better now. Tina says he needs to pay her back for the help she gave him. She reports that it has been 3 days since he was out. Despite not yet being fully healed, Yuki gets up to grab some clothes to be ready for the soul pet battle. Tina gladly volunteers to go with him, but Yuki rebukes her, justifying that they need to split up since they can't share a good soul pet. He also says he should not be trusted. Yuki leaves the cabin, leaving Tina angry that she was refused. Yuki walks through the forest while dodging wild beasts in the process. He plans to enter the innermost part of the island, where the strongest soul pets are. He comes across a thick field of vines. One of the vines pulls him inside. He gets cut from all the spikes while he is being pulled in. At the center of the vine field is the thorn demon, which is a vine-type soul beast. Yuki cuts the vine, grabbing onto his leg, and retreats from the thorn demon. The creature tries to whip him with its vine arm, but he dodges. Yuki is just glad the monster's attack opened up the vine field. He runs quickly, but he did not realize that he ran to the edge of the cliff. He falls and is lucky that a tree branch grabbed his shirt before he hit the ground. The branch breaks, letting him fall headfirst. Yuki senses a wild beast is near and hides behind a tree with his dagger ready for action. He is relieved to see that it is only a little red cloud fox. Yuki shoos the red cloud fox away. He complains about how the fox is not the kind of loyal pet he would go for in battle. Later, Yuki goes up a tree to view the forest. He sees a soul pet called a mandrill drinking by a lake and thinks about taming it. A kid gets near it and offers to make a pact with it, but the mandrill chases after him instead. Yuki judges the kid as an idiot for enraging the beast. Yuki makes a cage out of sticks and hangs it on a tree as a trap. He leaves a soul core fragment under it as bait, since most soul pets feed on it. He waits for half a day, but no soul pet or person comes by. A green worm drops on him, and he feeds it with bread and keeps it. Later, Yuki gets excited to see a soul pet coming. It turns out to be the red cloud fox from before, so he did not drop the cage. 2 days later, it is a blue star fox, similar in species to the last one that came to eat the bait. 4 days later, another fox is the one who takes the bait. 7 days later, a green fox comes by. Yuki is furious that nothing but foxes are coming. 10 days later, he sees again that another colored fox came. This time, he drops the cage, but the fox dodges it before it can land. Yuki is in full fury as he chases after the fox. The worm on his shoulder spits out a rope of silk that ties itself on the fox's legs, immobilizing it. Yuki praises the worm and says he is glad he kept it. Yuki grabs the little fox and declares that he will eat it for dinner. He then sees the crescent moon symbol on its head and gets intrigued. He remembers that all the foxes he saw so far had the same symbol on their heads and wonders how multiple species of foxes had the same mark. He remembers reading a book about soul pets and how rare ones can do special mutations to transform into stronger species. He realizes that the fox he has now is the same fox from the start, all along, and has just merely mutated multiple times in just a few days. He is pumped up since soul pets that can mutate continuously have unlimited potential. Yuki activates a magic circle to make a pact with the fox. The little fox hits the glowing magic circle, which breaks it and the pact attempt. The frustrated Yuki opens a new magic circle again and swears that he will make the fox his soul pet. It takes him a long while until he gets completely tired from all the failed attempts. The fox's silk binds break, so Yuki chases after the tiny animal. He chases after it until late nighttime, where he is led to the thorn demon's dangerous territory again. The fox gets thrown from the thick vine fields. The thorn demon uses its long vine arms to attack both Yuki and the fox, but they quickly dodge away. The demon comes out of its territory and throws heavy rocks at them. It is about to get the fox with its vines, but Yuki sees it coming and grabs the fox before it can. However, this puts Yuki so off balance that he rolls to the cold ground. This leaves them open to being grabbed by the demon by its vines and raised off the ground. The demon shakes them violently while they are in the air. Yuki tells the fox that it is currently too weak to survive the island, and he offers it to be the strongest creature in the world if it makes a pact with him. He opens up the magic circle and asks that it accept his pact. The fox closes its calm eyes and accepts with its paw to confirm the pact. This instantly boosts the fox's new power, making it able to free itself from the vine. Meanwhile, Yuki is being dragged to the demon's wide mouth, where the boy sees that inside its roof is where the monster's soul core weakness is located. The fox runs towards the monster's mouth at blinding lightning speed and claws the soul core from its mouth. The monster weakens and gets knocked out completely cold. The fox howls to the bright moon on top of its corpse. Yuki grabs the thorn demon's soul core on the ground. He throws it at the fox for it to feed on and get stronger. Another boy catches it instead, and he has a giant centipede by his side as his soul pet. Yuki tells the kid named Zhang that the soul core in his hand is his. Zhang tells him that the green core is not possible for him since his fox cannot be powerful enough to defeat a thorn demon. Yuki sees from Zhang's hand that he also has a soul core from a beast attribute. Yuki tells him that he does not want the soul core of the thorn demon anymore, but he suggests that they duel in 2 days for each other's soul cores. Zhang asks him what is stopping him from killing him and taking his core right now. Yuki warns him that Carl forbids them from fighting each other aside from duels, and asks if he dares to disobey that order. Zhang reluctantly backs away but threatens to kill him in the duel in 2 days. Yuki returns to camp, where he shows Tina his new moonlight fox. The girl asks what name he is going to give it. Yuki thinks about it and names it Moxie. The fox gets into a good mood, so Tina knows that it likes its new name. Yuki reads about the moonlight fox and sees that it is considered a weak soul pet. Tina asks him if he is sure that he wants a moonlight fox as an ally against Zhang's centipede, since its claws can't tear through the centipede's fleshy armor. Yuki is not worried and is confident he can make Moxie stronger in the next 2 days. Tina blushes as she asks if he wants her to join him in training. She looks and sees that Yuki is already asleep, so she doesn't answer her. Tina worries that Yuki is being careless by making a pact with a known weak soul pet. However, she is glad that Moxie looks so cute. The next morning, Yuki and Moxie walk to the forest. They stop at a tree, where Yuki tells Moxie to claw it to enhance its attack power. Moxie attacks it, but it only leaves surface scratch marks. The disappointed Yuki asks his pet to continue. The fox scratches it over and over, leaving only mere scratches. It stops as it gets a splinter under its paw. Yuki marks a cross on the tree with his dagger and tells Moxie to continue striking the marked spot until the tree breaks. The little fox strikes it over and over despite the fact that it gets to the point that it is hurting its limbs. By sunset, the little fox had made the top half of the tree fall. Yuki praises Moxie for its achievement. He asks the fox to go back to the soul pet space. Moxie turns to light, which enters Yuki. It is explained that a soul pet space is a space within the soul master where the pet can be stored and recover faster. Yuki wonders if he can find good herbs in the mountain. Later, he returns to his camp house, where he grinds the herbs he found. He tells Tina that the bondage wounds on his wrists came from the injury while collecting the herbs. He explains that the dark blue herb is used as a miracle healing remedy to allow Moxie's broken claws to regrow and become sharper than before. He declares that Moxie will become stronger. A day later, Moxie has already recovered. The little fox swings its claws to the ground, which leaves sharp marks. Yuki raises his pet into the air and celebrates how his claws have reached their late-stage level. Tina tells Yuki that Zhang is already waiting for him outside for the duel. Yuki is confident that he will win. A deacon and various children are gathered for the duel. Yuki is not there yet, so many of the children think he chickened out. Zhang's close friend, Sora, wonders if Yuki will come. Zhang assures him that he will win if the kid comes. Yuki arrives with Tina. Tina reports to Yuki that Zhang's friend, Sora, has a high-ranked scaled snake, a soul pet. The deacon announces that the duel is about to begin. Both fighters face each other. Both summon their individual pets from their soul planes. The centipede swings its tail, but Moxie dodges it. Moxie then uses its fast speed to circle the centipede. It then uses its claws all over the centipede's armor. Zhang orders his pet to dig underground. The insect does so, and leaves a hole from where it entered. Tina tells Yuki to order Moxie to run since the centipede's attack is strongest once it rises. Yuki ignores her warning, annoying the girl. Yuki closes his eyes to concentrate his soul power perception. He can sense where the centipede is burrowing underground and how it is already near under Moxie. He quickly orders Moxie to jump away. As he predicted, the centipede rose near Moxie. Moxie climbs the monster like a tower and strikes its claws on it from its chest. Zhang warns Yuki that it is no use because the centipede's flesh armor is too strong to break. He orders his centipede to kill the fox, only for his pet to die from its chest wound. The little fox cheers for its victory. Zhang is in denial. He is so angry that he pulls out a dagger and runs towards Yuki to kill him. Tina screams with worry for Yuki as Zhang charges towards the boy. Zhang is about to strike his blade, but Moxie jumps at him and claws the blade away from his hand. This leaves Zhang with a wound on his arm. Yuki warns Zhang that he will die if he makes another step. Zhang grinds his teeth with rage but reluctantly gives Yuki the soul cores he won. Yuki is about to leave, but Sora angrily stops him. He calls forth his scaled serpent in open view of the deacon. Yuki worries they can't face a fourth stage scaled serpent. It is about to attack Yuki and Moxie, but the other kids scream that something is happening to Zhang. Zhang goes on his knees as he feels agonizing pain. Sora runs to him and asks him what's wrong. A powerful wind pushes Sora away. Zhang then gets enveloped by an encircling wind around him. Out of the wind comes an evil soul pet. It puts Zhang in chains and grabs him by the neck. The boy's life force exits his mouth. The other kids recognize the creature as a nightmare. Everyone watches on in horror. The deacon explains to the children that Zhang's soul power is no longer enough to provide for the nightmare, so it devoured the host's soul. The nightmare flies away from Zhang, who is now drained of all energy. The nightmare roars, threatening everyone. The kids panic, thinking they are about to die. The deacon steps forward to near the nightmare. He makes an enchantment, which sucks the nightmare inside a golden plate with a magic circle inscribed on it. The monster disappears as if nothing happened. The deacon tells everyone that they are dismissed, and that any duel is not allowed until the next test. The aggravated Sora shouts Yuki's name and swears to him that he will avenge Zhang on the day of the test. Yuki tells him they will see which one of them will die by then. Sora shouts Yuki's name again with fury. A few weeks later, Moxie is now powerful enough to defeat Tina's thorny flower soul pet without problems. Yuki assures her that Moxie is just not a good opponent for her thorny flower demon because the fox's specialty is agility. Tina tells him that her thorny flower is so tough that not many can take it down. Yuki asks Tina who the only ones are who can defeat her flower. She is annoyed that Yuki knows nothing about his strongest opponents, but explains that there are only 4 kids who have soul pets tough enough to take down her flower, and the list includes Sora's scaled serpent and Sean's hunting wolf. Yuki remembers Sean as the kid who threw him directly to a hunting wolf and swears he will have his revenge. Tina sees that he is in deep thought and disturbs him. She congratulates him for now being one of the strongest on the island who is assured to pass the test. Yuki tells her that he is going to the inner island to look for medical herbs. Tina is again annoyed at the boy for leaving without even thanking her for the compliment she made. Yuki walks through the forest. Wormy the worm comes out from his coat. Yuki asks if it is hungry, but the worm goes to his hand and forces it in one direction to point at something. Nearby, 2 kids under Sean are walking by and are complaining that they are forced by their boss to keep patrolling the area. They, however, like that Sean is strong enough to wield 3 soul pets now, since it means no one can mess with them while they are under him. They are excited by their boss's promise to put them in the top 10 survivors of the island while also inflicting heavy damage on the other kids. Yuki is hiding as he observes the 2. He recalls that those who can make a pact with 3 soul pets are in the upper rankings of soul pet masters. He thinks about how he cannot allow Sean to get his 3rd soul pet since this would mean he would be too strong for him to defeat. He hides in the bushes and follows the 2 kids. Moxie strikes one of the kids to his death in the blink of an eye. Yuki then appears before the lone kid left. The kid summons his soul pet rock monster and lets it attack Yuki while he runs off. Wormy sees him trying to call for Sean, but Wormy blocks his mouth with silk webbing. Yuki orders Moxie to finish the kid off while he is distracted. The kid wants to call his rock monster, but can't because he can't speak. Moxie kills the kid, leaving the rock monster not knowing what to do now. It leaves its former master with no care for revenge for his former master. Yuki mocks the dead kid for his soul pet that doesn't even care about him. Yuki asks Wormy if it can find out what the other kids are doing. Wormy hops on bushes until he reaches the area where Sean and his 2 companions are. Sean feels something is watching them, so he orders one of his minions to go check on the others in their group and kill them. Sean and his lieutenant, the weary Tim, summon their beast-type soul pets to corner a fire-producing beast-type soul pet known as the Firetail. Sean orders Tim to occupy the Firetail with his steel fang pet while he finishes the job with his hunting wolf. Secretly, Tim is resentful that his boss is letting him do the harder work. The steel fang keeps the prey at bay as ordered. While it is distracted, Sean lets his hunting wolf strike at the Firetail. The wolf stands tall over its prey. Tim wonders why the missing Chen has not returned yet. Sean assures him that they have nothing to worry about since Chen is the 3rd strongest among them. A shadow approaches, so Tim thinks Chen is already back. The 2 get shocked as they see it is Yuki with a confident smile instead. Tim is horrified and trembling at the thought that he killed Chen and the others. Sean, on the other hand, shows that he is glad that they got killed since it means he won't be responsible for them anymore. Sean orders Tim to get rid of Yuki, but the kid says his steel fang no longer has the strength after its last battle. Sean whispers to him that he promises to let him obtain a 3rd soul pet once he reaches that point if he kills Yuki and his fox right now. Secretly, Tim knows that his boss is just using him. Yuki's fox and Tim's steel fang charge at each other. The swift Moxie and the beast trade claws. Yuki can see that Moxie has gained wounds from the clash and is losing. He orders his pet to use its charm ability. Moxie closes its eyes to concentrate. Sean is confident that the ability would not work since the steel fang is already at the 8th stage level. The steel fang charges at Moxie while it concentrates. Yuki is concentrating too. He opens his eyes, making Sean feel like something is off. He orders Tim to tell his pet to close its eyes. It is too late, as Yuki's eyes have put the pet into a hypnotic trance. Moxie strikes at the fang while it is paralyzed, killing it. Yuki then throws his dagger at Tim's forehead, killing him too. Sean realizes that Yuki is now at the level of a spirit soldier, which means he can now activate abilities of his own called soul techniques by consuming his soul or use his soul pet's abilities himself. Sean kicks Tim's body away from him and complains that he was useless. The cunning Sean thinks that Yuki's fox can no longer fight and offers to join forces rather than fight each other. Yuki rejects his offer and tells him that only death awaits him. Sean smiles darkly as he calls forth his hunting wolf. The sight of the steel fang's corpse powers up the wolf, and it becomes stronger. Sean looks psychotic as he orders his wolf to kill. Moxie and the hunting wolf stare each other down. The moment the battle begins, the hunter sends Moxie flying with a paw strike. It then makes a barrage of strikes that hurt the little fox even further. Sean warns Yuki that his fox has no chance if it can't even touch his hunting wolf. Yuki wants to use a soul technique, but does not have enough energy for it. He orders Moxie to hide in the bushes for now. Sean laughs at how useless the fox is. He is then surprised by Moxie coming out from above the tree to attack him directly. The hunting wolf strikes at Moxie before it can reach its master. However, Moxie manages to wound the wolf in the process. Sean is surprised that the fox managed to wound his wolf. He, however, smiles as he knows this will only make the beast fiercer. The angry hunting wolf rushes at Moxie. To Sean's surprise, it is Moxie that manages to hit the wolf. He beats himself up for not remembering that the fox has the ability to hide its true form and power. Yuki tells Moxie to get rid of its pitiful appearance and show them its true form. Moxie's form turns into a more adult version of a wolf. Sean is shocked that Yuki managed to train the creature into its 9th stage in a short time. Still, the confident boy thinks the fox is no match for his wolf. He orders his soul pet to go into its berserk mode. The hunting wolf's red aura strengthens it even more. It strikes at Moxie, but the fox barely manages to evade. The hunting wolf then sets its sights on Yuki, making the boy nervous. It lunges at the boy, pinning him to the ground. Yuki looks at the crescent moon above and orders Moxie to use the moonlight essence. Moxie strikes at the wolf, beheading it in an instant. Sean is shocked that Moxie can already power up all its stats under the moon. He retreats in fear. Yuki smiles as he orders Moxie to kill Sean. After the deed, Moxie licks its master like a happy dog. Yuki returns the fox to the soul plane to rest. Suddenly, Yuki feels agonizing pain. The pain only rises as his evil soul pet, White Nightmare, comes out of him. The White Nightmare puts its hands around Yuki's neck. Yuki meditates to calm himself down, yet still, the terrifying nightmare's grip grows tighter as it howls louder. Yuki tells it off to shut up so that he can concentrate enough to give it more soul energy. This angers the nightmare that strengthens Yuki's suffering. The boy tells himself over and over that he can't die. The kid wakes up the next morning, surprised to be alive. He returns to the camp, glad that he has collected the Firetail's soul crystal. He is excited for Moxie to absorb it and become stronger. The other kids are confused to see Yuki skipping as he walks. Meanwhile, at the castle, a deacon reports to the shocked Carl that Sean and his companions have been found dead. Carl stands up from his table in shock. He is frustrated and does not know how to report this to their lord, Shin. Carl asks if there are any clues or evidence gathered. The servants report that Yuki did not return last night either. With the boy's weak soul pet, the servant theorizes that it must have been killed by outsiders who entered the island. Carl tells him to assemble the children. The children gather at the meeting hall. Carl tells the kids that their exam will be pushed to tomorrow because outsiders have intercepted the island. Yuki hates the news, since a day does not give Moxie time to recover. Carl tells them to get back to their rooms with a smile. Suddenly, Yuki gets shoved and falls to the floor. He looks and sees that it was Sora who did it. Sora threatens to kill Yuki tomorrow if they ever get matched up. The next day, the exam begins, and Carl tells the children that they will fight one-on-one duels until only 10 remain. Carl draws a name from the box and announces that Sora will fight first. The other kids become nervous about being matched up with Sora. Meanwhile, Sora is staring at Yuki. Both kids stare each other down. Carl gets another name from the box and is about to announce Sora's opponent. Carl announced a kid named Paul as Sora's opponent. Paul is scared out of his mind. He suddenly runs away while screaming that he does not want to die. Carl summons his high-level hunting wolf, the massive beast, chases the running kid and kills him. Carl warns the other kids that they will suffer the same fate if they run. The kids stand silent at the thought. Carl announces Sora to be the victor by default. Sora shoves Yuki while he walks and tells him that he's lucky he was not his opponent. The kids fight in their duels. Those who survive the duels but lose are sentenced to death by wolves. Carl announces that Yuki and Hong will fight next. Hong apologizes to Tina because she is about to kill her roommate. Tina worries that Hong is the one who will die. Hong enters the dueling area and tells Yuki that he is lucky his weak moonlight fox survived so long. Yuki cringes at her comment. Hong tells Yuki not to blame her for what she is about to do to survive. Just as Hong is about to summon her soul pet, Yuki throws a dagger at her neck. She goes down so abruptly that the other kids get shocked and scared. The deacons ask Carl what they should do now. Carl claps his hands to praise Yuki for striking without hesitation while his opponent is open. He warns Yuki that his little trick won't work again. Yuki's cold act intimidates the kids, yet secretly, Yuki is just glad he bought Moxie time to recover. Even Tina thinks her roommate is the scariest among them. The next day, the duels continue, and everyone is anticipating who will fight next. Yuki is worried that Moxie has only recovered half of its usual strength since yesterday. Carl declares that today, they will reveal who will be in the top 10 to leave the island. Yuki and Jason are called to duel. Tina thinks Jason will lose. She has so much faith in Yuki that her friend Suzu thinks she has a crush on the boy. Jason summons his Mandy as his soul pet, while Yuki summons Moxie. Tina sees that Moxie is still weakened. Still, she tells Suzu that Yuki will still win. Mandy strikes, but Moxie dodges it. With graceful speed, every strike the Mandy makes, Moxie evades. The watching crowd is impressed that the Moonlight Moxie is so agile. Mandy is getting confused, just trying to follow the fox. Jason is getting frustrated that his pet is just standing. Moxie uses its charm ability and stares at the Mandy. The Mandy gets put into a hypnotic trance. Jason tells his pet to wake up. Moxie strikes, killing the soul pet. Jason is in shock. The kid gets dragged away by the deacons to his death. Carl claps at the result. He says that there are 11 children left, but only 10 can live. Sora raises his hand and volunteers to fight Yuki, since he did not get to fight his opponent last time. Sora smiles, thinking that the Moonlight Fox is at its weakest right now. Carl asks Yuki what he thinks. Without hesitation, Yuki answers that he will grant Sora's wish to die. Carl is entertained by Yuki and agrees to hold the duel. He declares the battle has begun, as Yuki and Sora stare off at each other. Sora summons his scaled serpent, and Yuki summons Moxie. The massive snake lunges, but Moxie evades. The snake tries to coil itself around the fox, but Moxie evades it again. The snake tries to hit the fox with its sharp tail, but still, Moxie evades. The two monsters are in a standstill. Sora orders his serpent to use Poison Splash. It spits its venom, so both Yuki and Moxie dodge it. Drops of the poison hit Moxie's tail, leaving a wound. The snake strikes as the fox is in pain. Still, the fox avoids the snake again. Moxie slashes at its belly, and then returns to Yuki's arms in pain. The little fox's claws are chipped and damaged from scratching the snake. Sora brags about how tough his soul pet's skin is. He orders his snake to hurry up and finish the duel. The scaled serpent uses its vicious devourer ability to cover itself in venom. The watching crowd is horrified at the implication that the snake's opponents can die just by touching it. Tina screams at Yuki to run, but Yuki stays calm and tells Moxie that it's time to use its new skills. Moxie gets back on the ground and smiles at its master. The little fox runs towards its opponent while using its new moon shadow technique to make a double of itself. Sora thinks it's pointless to use the technique to dodge his scaled serpent's attacks. The fox runs towards the big snake without fear. Tina and the other kids are terrified. Yuki says he does not need to dodge anything. Moxie makes its shadow double disappear and charges directly at the snake, which eats the little fox. Sora orders the scaled serpent to eat Yuki next. In a flash, Moxie slices the snake's back open to escape. The little fox howls at it as it stands on the corpse of the giant snake. All the deacons and kids are shocked at the upset. Yuki smiles as he orders Moxie to kill Sora. Moxie gets to Sora before he can even talk and slashes his chest to his death. Carl congratulates Yuki as he realizes that the kid has been hiding the Moonlight Fox's real form all along. Carl determines how strong the fox is, so it must be at its 9th stage by now. He asks Yuki threateningly if he was the one who killed Sean and the others. The deacon puts mental restraints on the boy, causing Yuki to feel tremendous agony. Carl demands that he admit it, but the boy says it was not him. Still, he insists he tells the truth. The boy cries as he denies it. Moxie is in the soul plane, itching to get out and attack Carl. Carl strengthens his mental restraint, but the other deacons warn him that if he kills one of the 10 children, their lord, Shin, will blame him. Carl thinks about what Shin will do to him and leaves Yuki alone. The deacon theorizes that Carl hates Yuki because he is threatened by the kid's potential to eclipse him, especially because he has nurtured a white nightmare and still has not died. They believe that Shin will never let Yuki be killed and will award him a higher position than Carl. The two deacons plan to protect Yuki from Carl's wrath and report him to Shin to get a promotion. They are both in glee at the thought. Later that night, Yuki is under the moonlight. He holds a beast attribute soul stone in one hand and a fire attribute one in the other. He thinks that these two stones will strengthen Moxie's combat ability. He believes that Moxie will one day transform into a powerful 9-tailed demon fox form. The Moonlight Fox absorbs the stone into its body, making itself glow like fire. Its body gets new, sharp red tattoos. Yuki congratulates his pet for evolving to its 2nd stage. Yuki senses that someone is watching them. The creature watching them flies up from a tree, revealing that it is a bat-type soul pet. The bat howls. The sound of the howl reaches Moxie and creates a crater where the fox is. Moxie stares at the bat. With just a look, the bat gets engulfed by fire. The night creature drops to the floor and disintegrates. Yuki is excited that Moxie now has a flame attack and pets the fox. He raises his pet into the air and cheers for its success. The next morning, Deacon leads the 10 kids to a ship at sea. He tells them that they are heading to Green Nightmare Island. The kids cheer and celebrate as their ship leaves the island. Yuki, on the other hand, gets seasick and barfs. The deacons warn the kids not to get too close to the sides of the boat since they will get the attention of ferocious sea pets, and they might attack the ship. A shark soul pet suddenly jumps out of the water, causing Yuki to push Tina away. The shark damages parts of the ship. Carl tells the children to get inside. The shark jumps from the water again to attack Carl. Carl evades, but he still gets grabbed and pulled into the water. The deacons worry that he will not return. Suddenly, Carl rises from the sea above a tower made of swirling water. He jumps back to the ship and orders his water spirit to kill all the sharks. His soul pet, known as the water spirit, shoots high-pressure water at the sharks, killing dozens of them. Carl does not allow the rest to escape by letting his pet create an ice wall that blocks the sharks' path. The water soul pet treks towards the sharks and slays them all. The other deacons praise their lord, Carl, for how strong his water spirit has become. The children cheer for their safety. On the other hand, Yuki sees how powerful Carl is and acknowledges that he can't defeat the deacon right now. The sea trek goes on, and Yuki can no longer take his seasickness. One of the children sees that Green Nightmare Island is up ahead. They land and explore the town. Women in the streets encourage Carl to come with them. Carl is so roped in that he orders another deacon named Zim to take charge while he's busy. Zim leads the children in the streets and informs them that they will be brought to the Nightmare Palace, where they will participate in duels with other branches of their cult. He encourages them to prove themselves to get bigger rewards. Zim takes them to the cabin where they will live. He gives each child 1 gold coin for necessary supplies. Yuki thinks about buying herbs for Moxie with it. Yuki goes through the streets and gets lost. He smells an aroma and enters the store where it is coming from. He asks the old owner of the store if he has any heavenly blue grass. The old man answers that he has it and that he can buy 1 plant for 2 gold coins. Yuki shows that he only has 1 gold coin, so the old man judges him as an unworthy poor boy. The old salesman tells him to go away if he doesn't have any money. Yuki pulls out soul cores from his pocket and asks how much they are worth. The salesman's eyes can tell that the soul cores did not come from any local soul pet. He tells the boy that 3 soul cores are worth 1 silver coin and 5 coppers. The old man assures him that he will give him a fair price for his soul cores. Hope flickers in Yuki's eyes as he asks the old man where he can hunt and collect soul cores. He is all fired up as he is about to leave the store to go to the forest to the south. He reaches the forest at night. He steps on a bone and breaks it, attracting many furious soul pets. Meanwhile, Carl is having a drink with Zenny, one of the Nightmare Island leaders, at a pub. Zenny asks Carl what he can do for him. Carl asks that one of his servants kill Yuki in the upcoming inter-island battle. Carl goes into a tantrum about how Yuki has killed 3 of his promising servants already. Zenny is shocked at how strong the kid is to do that, so Carl assures him that Yuki's pet is just a moonlight fox. Zenny agrees to let one of his children kill the boy. Their laughter echoes darkly as they drink through the night. 2 days later, the old salesman remembers Yuki and thinks he won't come back. He is shocked to see Yuki enter his store again, but now with ragged clothes, scars, and bandaged up wounds. The boy puts a bag of so many soul cores on the table that the old man is stunned. The old man states that he owes the kid 7 gold coins. The old man tells Yuki that he is the first Nightmare Island servant he has ever seen who has collected 7 gold coins in 2 days. Yuki is disappointed that he does not see soul technique scrolls he can buy in the store, so he is ready to leave. The old man stops him from leaving and tells Yuki not to underestimate him. He brings Yuki to the back of the store, where there is a cabinet. He pulls one cabinet door open, which opens a secret doorway. Yuki's jaw drops open to see that it is a room filled with scrolls of soul techniques and other soul pet-related items. The old man assures the boy that he has all the soul techniques he needs. Yuki gets excited, sees the rapid freeze technique, and asks for it. He cringes as the old man asks for 5 gold coins for it. Yuki is in tears, since he is about to leave the store with all his money already spent. The old man suddenly tosses him a bottle of healing medicine. The salesman tells the boy that he sees potential in him, and this makes him a good investment. With a knowing wink, he asks that Yuki shop at his store again in the future. Later, Yuki returns to the servant's cabin and is shocked that it is in ruin. Yuki returns to their dwelling place and sees his comrades inside, looking hurt and troubled. He asks what happened, and Tina says some foreman gave them some high-quality soul cores in preparation for the tournament. Some people from other islands saw this and demanded to trade for it. When Tina and the others refused, they tried to get it by force, and they were forced to fight. Potter then asks Yuki where he has been all this time. He also informs him that the tournament will be fought by teams. However, now that their soul pets are all hurt, they are at a severe disadvantage. Yuki seems unperturbed and walks calmly to the stairs. Tina explains that the format will be 10 soul pets on both sides, fighting at the same time. Trainers cannot participate, and the winners get the soul technique. Yuki says he understands and heads upstairs. Potter accuses him of being too self-centered. Yuki tells him not to worry, and that he will help them get back all that they lost. Later that evening, Tina can barely sleep as her room is freezing. It turns out that Yuki is practicing the rapid freeze technique before falling asleep. The next day, the kids make their way to the battle arena. As they enter, they are instructed not to look up, as this could be construed as a sign of disrespect. Watching from the top is the master of the main island, and directly below him are the heads of each sub-island. Sitting on his throne, the master says he heard Lord Carl brought a pretty weak group of kids this year. Carl says that the stronger kids all died in an accident, and that he has zero expectations for this current batch. The other sub-island leaders hear this and laugh at him. The announcer then declares that the first match is about to begin. Potter sees their opponents are the Hmong team, and says it is the group that stole their soul cores the previous day. Their leader, Feng, smiles and tells his group that they are going against weaklings, so they can just relax. Potter says they shouldn't be afraid, as they will have a better chance with better teamwork. The teams face off and summon their soul pets. Yuki's fox and the rest of his teammates' pets come out. Feng, meanwhile, has a scaled armor beast, while his group has a wind demon and a Gila monster. Feng laughs when he sees the moonlight fox, believing it to be so weak. Potter tells Yuki that the armor beast is the biggest problem, so they will hold it back while Moxie takes out the other opponents. The battle begins, and Moxie quickly rushes an enemy and slashes it. This forces its master to quickly recall it for fear it might get killed by another strike. His teammate calls him a coward, but Feng tells them not to get distracted. The scaled beast, meanwhile, is proving unstoppable. Yuki tells his team not to panic, and to keep doing their best to stall it. Moxie, meanwhile, leaps up and beheads the Gila monster, to the shock of everyone who is watching. Feng orders his team to target the fox first. The scaled beast starts rolling up towards Moxie, who sprints away. Potter says they will help. The demon flower fires some projectiles at the beast, while the rock pet stands in its path and then blocks its forward movement. The demon flower throws some vines around the scaled beast, and together, the two pets try to keep it from moving. This leaves it open to an attack, but Feng is not worried, as its scales are strong. Moxie jumps and slashes the beast, creating a crack in its armor, which soon breaks off, revealing a bit of its flesh. Feng is completely flabbergasted. Yuki tells his teammates that there is now an opening. Their pets take advantage right away, striking the newly opened weak point. The scaled armored beast is defeated as Feng seethes with anger. He tells his teammate that it is up to his wind demon. He activates an ability, and the wind demon starts sucking in air. Soon, it creates a powerful whirlwind that sucks in all of the other soul pets in the arena. The whirlwind is now nearly bigger than the arena. The kids cover their faces as Yuki realizes it has not even reached its final stage yet. He tells Moxie to go straight through it. The fox hears the command and then focuses for a moment. He then uses Shadow Assault mode to break through. Tina is so happy to see how quickly Moxie is getting stronger. Moxie lands in front of the wind demon and chases after it. The trainer says that these types of demons don't have any close combat abilities and begs for help. None are arriving, though, as Moxie's teammates take care of the other opponents. Yuki gives the command, and Moxie delivers the finishing blow, killing the wind demon. The crowd is stunned. Zenny tells Carl that Yuki has some strength. He figures the fox must have reached the second phase, and that the kid has gotten stronger again. Zenny smiles and says not to worry, as his servants are better than the Meng team, who just lost. They both smile as the announcer declares Carl's team the winner. Yuki and the others smile victoriously. Potter puts a hand on Yuki's shoulder and says he believes in him now. He then asks why Moxie still looks like it is in the 6th stage when it should be at the 2nd phase already. Yuki grins and says pitiful appearance has improved as well. Suzu moves closer and asks what the fox's real phase is. Yuki tells her to guess, which causes her to blush. Tina sees this small moment between the two and gets jealous. Suddenly, Yuki hears a whistling sound. It means Moxie has grown up again after these days of fighting. Moxie's paws become engulfed in flames, and its sharp claws become even more fearsome. Moxie immediately tries out some new attacks. Yuki is pleased, as he does not have to worry about any soul pet below the 2nd phase's 7th stage anymore. The first round of matches is over, and the second round is about to begin. Yuki's team will face off against Zenny's team. Zenny suggests he and Carl head down to the battlefield for a closer view. Both sides summon their soul pets, and Yuki's teammates are shocked to see that their opponent's pets are above the 2nd phase. Potter instructs them to fight defensively and to recall their pet if they cannot win. They must not let their soul pet die. Yuki looks serious as the battle begins. Tina makes the first move, ordering her demon flower to cast a thorny rose wall. The other team is amused to see them fighting defensively from the start. One of them uses her thorny demon to slash the vines. The wall is instantly obliterated. The thorns continue on to the flower demon, but the rock pet catches them. This gives Tina a chance to attack. The wind fairy, though, casts whirlwind attack, which catches the flower demon and rock monster in a tornado. One of Yuki's team members sees that they are probably going to lose. However, he is still upbeat since the longer his eagle can hold out, the higher he will rank individually. That hope is quickly dashed when a hunting wolf leaps into the air and bites the eagle by the neck. Moxie, though, counters by beheading the wolf when it lands. Team Zenny is surprised, then one of them says she will handle the fox. The Umbra monster places its hands on the ground. Yuki looks worried. Blue flames suddenly appear beside Moxie. He tries to jump away, but then sees that the flames actually targeted his shadow. He finds that he now can't move while trapped by the shadow-seizing soul fixation skill. In addition, he is unable to use any mental techniques. Tina tells Yuki that they should admit defeat and he should save Moxie's life. Reluctantly, Yuki starts to cast the soul pet recall, which can't be prevented. Suddenly, his spell is interrupted by a mental restriction. He turns and sees it is the doing of Lord Carl, who is now standing beside him. The evil lord smiles and tells him to enjoy the battle a little while longer. Yuki looks on helplessly as Moxie remains unable to move due to the shadow fixation. Tina notices that Yuki appears to be struggling and asks if he is okay. Carl, though, tells her not to interfere or she will die. The members of Team Zenny are amused at the fox for continuing to struggle and move to finish it off. The flame-tail pet fires 3 fireballs, and in desperation, Yuki tells his pet to lift the disguise. There's a huge explosion, and Yuki looks on, concern clearly visible in his eyes. The Zenny team is confident that the fox is now dead. The smoke starts to clear, and the Umbra monster trainer notices something. She quickly tells her teammate to get the flame tail back. He is too late as Moxie leaps from the ground and slashes the flame tail, killing it. The Zenny team can't believe how it could still be alive. Carl, meanwhile, is furious as he realizes Yuki had been lying to him. The spectators all see that the fox is already at the 4th stage of the 2nd phase. In addition, it has probably already gone through Fire Attribute Soul Crystal training, as it was able to withstand the fireball attack. Waylon realizes they might lose, and tells everyone to call all their pets to work together. The Thorn Demon Grass, Nido Monster, and Red Scorpion all charge at Moxie. Tina and Potter look on. Yuki tells his pet that it is kill or be killed. Moxie rushes forward, prompting the Thorn Demon and Wind Fairy to attack. Moxie moves to the side, avoiding the thorny whirlwind. A Team Zenny member notes that it is too cunning, while another orders the Thorn Demon to attack. The demon starts spinning its thorns like a propeller and rushes at the fox. Yuki tells it to use shadow, then winces in pain at the strain as Carl asks how long his soul power will last. Moxie senses something is wrong with his master and is momentarily distracted. This causes it to get hit by the thorn attack. Yuki tells it to use its flame, and the Thorn Demon catches fire. Its master says flames are deadly for plants and recalls his pet. Waylon warns him that the flames will continue to burn in his soul pet space. He doesn't believe it, and then starts to feel something inside him. Suddenly, flames burst forth from his mouth and nose, and he falls to the ground. Carl is furious at how much power Yuki has actually hidden from him. The young man is not intimidated and tells him to continue to enjoy the battle. Moxie faces off against 3 soul pets. Team Zenny's confidence has left them, and they know that even if they win, they won't have a chance in the next round. Waylon tells them not to panic and to focus on this fight for now. Yuki tells Moxie to take advantage of this moment, and the fox quickly leaps forward, slashing a soul pet on the neck. A wolf is able to bite Moxie on the leg, but Moxie kicks it with his other leg and is soon free. He rushes at the Wind Fairy. The Gila monster appears between them, places his hand on the ground, and casts Dark Shadow Shield, creating a large barrier for protection. Moxie looks at it for a moment, then casts Blood-Rending Claw. The attack slashes right through the shield and slices the Wind Fairy in 2. Everybody who is watching is stunned at this display of power, while Lord Carl continues to fume. Team Zenny sees that they have no chance and decides to surrender. Zenny himself then appears behind them and calls them a bunch of losers. He sees no more point in letting them live and summons his ferocious soul pet. It rips the team members to shreds, as Waylon looks on in horror. He falls to his knees as Zenny tells him to summon his nightmare and to keep fighting. Waylon says that if he does this, he won't have any more soul power. Zenny says he will die if he doesn't, and Waylon realizes he has no choice. He kneels down and starts focusing. A magic circle appears around him, and a giant nightmare comes out. Moxie starts to sweat as he knows this is a fearsome enemy. The nightmare towers over him and then sends him flying with a flick of his hand. Moxie crashes into the ground and screams in pain as a purple flame engulfs him. Yuki, meanwhile, looks on in horror and lets out a scream of worry for his pet. Moxie continues to writhe in pain on the arena floor. Carl looks pleased and mocks Yuki, telling him to just give up. The young boy falls on his knees, still struggling valiantly against Carl's mental attack. He summons every ounce of his energy. Suddenly, he is able to unleash the white nightmare. He is able to break free from Carl, who can't believe it. The spectators realize that he had actually been feeding the white nightmare all this time. The island master also finds it interesting how the negative emotions have attracted the white nightmare. Yuki runs to Moxie and casts Rapid Freeze, trapping the dark nightmare. He hugs his soul pet and starts to absorb the purple flames. He yelps out in pain, but doesn't stop. Soon, they are both engulfed in white flames with the white nightmare behind them. The flames are so big that they cover the entire arena floor. The white nightmare towers over the other one. Waylon sees it and goes pale with fear. Yuki then uses the soul technique, Flame On. White flames cover the dark nightmare. Waylon also feels the effects and spits out blood. He falls to the ground while his nightmare dissipates. Yuki continues to hold Moxie in his arms and tells his pet that he can rest now. He then notices Carl standing behind him. Carl's right arm is burning, so he can't use it. He instead grabs a knife with his left hand. Yuki says he is going to die and starts to cast the flame spell. However, nothing happens as he has run out of energy. Carl smiles and can now use his power. He summons his soul pet and has it attack the defenseless boy. Yuki rolls away from an attack by the soul pet. Carl mercilessly orders his pet to kill the boy. Yuki is about to be devoured when something grabs the soul pet's tail. It is a white nightmare that Yuki immediately recognizes. This was the one that appeared when he was a little boy. It effortlessly lifts the soul pet by the tail and then squeezes it like a piece of laundry. Yuki sees that it belongs to Lord Shin, who he is now certain is the one who kidnapped him and brought him to the island. Carl falls on his knees and says that he was merely trying to help him by killing the boy. He lies that Yuki's energy isn't enough to supply the white nightmare anymore. Shin isn't fooled and has, in fact, seen everything that transpired, including Carl using his mental spirit seal to prevent Yuki from withdrawing his soul pet. He shoots him an accusatory look and says he was trying to kill someone with the potential to nurture a white nightmare. He orders 2 guards to take Carl away. Yuki sees this, and then his vision starts to get blurry. His body is at its limit, and he faints from the extreme effort he exerted. In the stands, a beautiful young lady in fancy clothes is watching. Sometime later, Yuki wakes up and finds himself on a ship at sea. Shin is standing beside him. He gets up and immediately starts asking why Lord Shin brought him to the island. He replies that the boy's family has already been removed from the list of the top 4 families. Yuki should thus know what losing power and authority entails. The young boy thinks for a while and then asks if someone from the Yang family hired Shin to kill him. He replies that he is not certain which member it is. However, the Yang family failed to hold up their end of the bargain. He adds that he is sharing all of this information because Yuki has the potential to become a very strong tamer. In addition, the princess asked him to let Yuki live. The young boy has no idea about this princess. He thinks back and remembers the young lady at the arena. He wonders why she would help him. Shin replies that maybe she pities him. She is also nurturing a white nightmare demon that has now reached the 4th stage. Shin then says he has 2 choices. 1, he can remove the white nightmare and Yuki can return to his family and live a peaceful life. 2, go to Prison Island. Once every 3 years, over 3,000 criminals are sent here. After 3 years, only 1 person survives. If Yuki can survive that place, Shin will give him the white nightmare demon and promote him as one of the Nightmare Palace members. He reiterates that in the first choice, Yuki can struggle to live and watch his family continue to decline. In the second choice, he can become one of the strong few if he survives. Yuki starts to sweat as he thinks about which path to choose. Yuki thinks about whether he should return the white nightmare to Shin and return to his family. Shin sees the boy in deep thought and leaves him alone to think. Yuki tells him that he has already decided. He declares that he will get out of Prison Island alive. Shin tells him that he made the right choice since he would have just secretly killed him if he had not accepted it. Princess Joanna asks Shin if he really thinks Yuki can survive on the prison island for 3 years. Shin says that he does not know, but it is the boy's choice to make. A few days later, Shin summons the winged tiger and tells Yuki that it will take him to the prison island. Yuki gets excited as he rides the tiger. Shin informs him that the same soul pet will fly to the prison island to pick him up. The tiger quickly flies to the sky with the boy on its back. After a while, the prison island can be seen in the distance. Wormy peeks out of Yuki's shirt. Yuki wonders why the little bug seems so energetic as it looks at something from above. Yuki looks up and sees a giant shadow above the clouds. The tiger hurries to the island to escape it. It forces the tiger to go down too fast and hit a tree branch. The nearby ice falcons see them fall to the ground. They see them as enemies and project ice spikes at them. The tiger sees the ice spikes coming at it. It roars and its loud sound breaks all of the upcoming ice. This scared the bird, which flew away. Yuki thanks the tiger for his safe flight to the island. He says goodbye to the tiger as it flies away. Yuki summons Moxie, and they explore the island. Wormy comes out of Yuki's clothing since it senses something near. Yuki looks around and sees a person frozen in a block of ice. Yuki can tell from the kid's lack of wounds that he was frozen to death. Wormy then screams as he sees that the ice falcon is stalking them from up a nearby tree. It throws ice spikes at them, but Moxie burns it with its stare. The fox then jumps and claws the bird, leading it to fly away. Yuki can tell that Wormy seems to be more energetic today. The worm spits out a silk net at the bird, causing the falcon to be trapped and fall. The falcon howls, which summons more ice falcons into the area. All the falcons throw ice spikes at them. There are so many that Yuki and his pets are forced to hide behind a tree. The boy can tell that the tree is about to break from all the ice thrown at it. Yuki thinks he is about to die. Meanwhile, the aggressive Wormy spits out a silk rope and binds it to one of the falcon. The little bug hangs on to the bird as it flies away. The worm then rolls around in its own silk rope until it is mummified. The worm then spits out even more ropes, binding more birds to itself. It is not long until all the birds are mummified at the center of a giant web stuck between two trees. Yuki is shocked that Wormy is somehow going through some kind of mutation. The boy senses something coming, so he and Moxie hide behind a tree. A man with a sword nears the web and is shocked. The boy does not want the man to trouble Wormy, so he comes out from the tree to face him. The man is happy to see someone whom he can kill and is ready to fight. Suddenly, silk webs bind themselves around the man until he, too, is mummified and immobile. He summons his demon tiger soul pet to free him, but the soul pet gets stuck on the web, too. In a second, even the tiger gets mummified to death. Yuki slowly touches the web with fear, thinking it might trap him. He sighs with relief that Wormy can differentiate between foes and friends, despite its current state. He looks at the contents of the man's bag and sees that he has books on soul techniques and bread. Yuki reads one of the books to find out what kind of soul pet Wormy is. He finds the race called the Cocoon Race and thinks it matches Wormy perfectly. He tries to research what Wormy's final form would be, but the book only says that it's unknown. It just makes Yuki excited and curious about what Wormy is going to be. He tells Moxie that they need to guard the worm until it comes out. A week later, Yuki and Moxie are already impatient in their guarding duty. They see that the cocoon Wormy is wrapped around is already as big as the trees beside it. Yuki decides they can't stay and guard, as they need to get stronger. Moxie wants to stay on guard, but Yuki tells the little fox that Wormy's cocoon is so tough that nothing can hurt it. They trek the island until they reach a dead-end cliff. Yuki sees Moxie looking down. Taking a cautious step forward, he takes a peek down and sees a cave surrounded by ice rocks and thinks they can find ice attribute treasure there. Yuki climbs down from the steep edge of the cliff until he and Moxie reach the dark cave. The boy finds the fierce wind inside the cave to be strong and bitterly cold. Moxie leads the way with its new soul technique of setting itself on fire. They see something trapped in a thick block of ice. It breaks the moment Yuki touches it. What breaks out is an ice fairy soul pet, which is like a genie or a ghost in its gaseous form. Yuki warns Moxie to stay alert since he can tell from all the ice that it's strong. Moxie lunges at the ice fairy while the fox's fire armor ability is activated. It scratches the fairy's chest, but the wound it left disappeared in a second. The fox's attack angers the fairy, so it summons its floating ice sword and sends it flying at its enemy. Moxie evades every sword, so the fairy throws more at the fox. Yuki orders Moxie to run around in circles. The fox runs around the fairy while its ice swords continue to follow it. The fire Moxie is making as it circles melts the swords and confuses the fairy. Yuki finds the fairy silly and cute and wants to make it his soul pet. He summons a magic circle to start the pact with the fairy. The boy then sees that the ice around the walls is getting bigger. A flock of ice falcons enters the cave. With the incoming ice falcons, Yuki wants to tame the ice fairy quickly. He points his magic circle at the fairy, and the fairy looks at him with curious eyes. The fierce falcons are coming, and Yuki and Moxie run before the pact is finished. The ice fairy follows them, and Yuki realizes that it has already accepted the pact. Yuki looks behind and panics that the ice falcons are closer than ever. They throw sharp ice spikes at them, so they continue to run through the narrow cave. Later, once all the falcons are gone, Yuki reads about the fairy in the old book and sees that it is a high-ranking soul pet. Yuki walks through the dark cave and thinks it would be a good hideout. The cave entrance is entered by two nervous men who see Yuki. They call forth their soul pets, which are two ice falcons. Yuki is getting sick and tired of facing ice falcons, so he throws a loud tantrum. Before he can order anything, the ice fairy stabs the birds with her ice swords. With their soul pets defeated, the two men panicked and ran away. Yuki does not want them to escape and orders the ice fairy to put an ice wall before the exit. The fairy summons an ice wall in front of Yuki instead, which leads to the men getting away. The fairy cries as she knows she messed up. Yuki assures his new pet that it's fine and that she will be better at understanding his orders next time. Yuki looks around and sees that the men drop something on the floor. He sees that it is a scroll sealed by the mark of the Nightmare Palace. He unrolls it and gets shocked. He sees that Deacon is mentioned on the paper, as well as a list of 3,000 prisoners on the prison island. The ice fairy notices something behind the mysterious scroll. Yuki turns the scroll around and sees that it is a detailed map of the prison island. He thinks about catching up to the two men who got away to ask them for more valuable information. The ice fairy suddenly takes the paper away from Yuki and dances around in the air with it. Yuki realizes that he has not given her a proper name yet and gives her the name of Nina. The ice fairy loves it, making the boy proud of himself. Yuki tracks the men who escaped. He hears someone screaming for help. Yuki looks and sees that one of the men is being bullied by someone to hand over his map. The crying, scared man makes an excuse that Deacon gave the map to another prisoner, and he offers to help the bully find it. It confirms to Yuki that the map has been given by the Deacon. The bullying man calls his bull soul pet, and it slays the man. Yuki recognizes the bull as the Yang family's sole pet, and wonders if the Yang family is on the island. The boy recognizes the red-headed bully as Dean from the Yang family, and it irks him to see him. Yuki remembers how, when they were still little boys, Dean used to beat him up for being among the Chu family. Yuki's big brother came to his rescue and summoned a hunting wolf. Dean was not worried. It only led to the wolf being slain. The angry Yuki summons Moxie. The fox ambushes Dean from behind. The bull senses the fox coming, so the two evade it. Yuki comes out of the tree. Dean is surprised to see him. Dean asks Yuki why he is here. The boy answers that it is all thanks to his Yang family. Arrogant Dean sees that all Yuki has is a weak moonlight fox, so he is confident he can beat him. He orders his fierce bull to attack. Moxie uses its shadow ability to create lifelike holograms of itself while it charges. The massive bull swats the holograms away, but Moxie is able to slash its eye while it does. The bull howls in furious anger. Dean warns his opponent that his bull gets stronger every time it gets wounded. The bull rams Moxie, which makes the small fox get pushed back to the dense bushes. The bull swats away the bushes, but Moxie is not there. Moxie comes out from the top of the tree instead and kills the bull with a swift slice. Yuki now orders Moxie to kill Dean, so Dean runs. Dean summons a tornado, which blocks Moxie away from him. Just as he thought he would get away, he tripped on a loose rock and fell to the floor. Dean summons a large winged beast soul pet. Its deafening loud howl pushes Moxie and Yuki away. Yuki realizes that the beast is not a good pairing for Moxie, so he tells the fox to come back to the soul plane. Moxie still wants to fight, so Yuki allows it to continue. Dean summons vines from the ground to grab Yuki and Moxie. Yuki uses rapid freezing to stop the vines. Moxie lunges at the winged beast and uses charm on it. It does not work, and the beast hits Moxie with its heavy palm instead. Yuki worries about his pet's well-being. Yuki worries as he sees that Moxie is down. Dean orders his ferocious beast to kill the little fox. Yuki quickly gets in the beast's way and summons Nina the ice fairy. The fairy summons a thick ice wall to block the beast's path. The mighty beast breaks through the ice wall and pushes Yuki away. Moxie wakes up and sees Yuki knocked out cold. The determined fox faces its enemies and changes to its mature-looking true form. The beast lunges at the fox, but Yuki summons a powerful barrier of wind that pushes the monster away from Yuki. Another tail appears beside the fox's original tail. Yuki wakes up and sees that Moxie is still making his tornado increasingly stronger. Dean orders his beast to stop Moxie. The beast is so terrified that it stands paralyzed. Inside the furious wind is Moxie's new intimidating multi-tailed form. The fox makes multiple rapid slashes in a second that break the beast into pieces. The terrified Dean runs from the tornado. Moxie lunges at him and sets his arm on fire. Dean asks for mercy in exchange for information. Yuki leaves Dean's lifeless corpse in the cold rain. Yuki returns to the safety of the cave and sits by the warm fire. He reads up on how Moxie has now mutated to the flaming six-tailed demon fox. He is confident now that they can survive on Prison Island and get its hidden riches. He recalls how Dean told him that prisoners are encouraged to fight, and that Nightmare Palace has hidden a valuable treasure on the island. Dean also reported that the map's back records all the prisoners' names, and that he needs to kill all the prisoners to get to the treasure. Dean also told him about how the Yang family tried to hire Shin to help them kill all the prisoners, but they did not have enough money to pay him. Shin robbed them of all their precious family heirlooms instead. The furious Yang family sent a group to the island to get all of them back. The news makes Yuki determined to slay all of the Yang family. 1 month later, Yuki finds that Nina has gotten much stronger. Nina senses something unusual and leads Yuki on the narrow path between canyons. Nina points and tells Yuki that there is high-ranking medicine at the end of the path. They head deeper into the path, and they find a high-ranking ice attribute herb that can help Nina grow. Yuki senses something extremely dangerous and orders Nina to give him an armor of ice. A fierce soul pet lunges at them, so Nina creates a thick ice wall to separate them from it. The powerful monster breaks through. It slashes Nina and breaks her into pieces while also pushing Yuki away. Yuki is utterly shocked to see that the soul pet is the high-ranking demon tiger. Yuki puts Nina back in the soul plane. The boy feels lucky that an ice fairy is an elemental type that can't be killed with just claws. The angry tiger charges at Yuki, so the boy goes back to the narrow path where the tiger can't reach. He realizes that the demon tiger is completely trapped. He wonders if he should give up on the herbs, since they're in the tiger's dangerous territory. He realizes that he can use his space ring to communicate with the demon tiger and wears it. Yuki asks the tiger to enter his space ring so he can help it escape from the isolated area. The tiger simply roars loudly at him. Yuki warns the tiger that there are other people on the island who are a serious danger to it. The tiger ignores him, so the disappointed boy leaves. The tiger readies to sleep. It opens its eyes as it hears something. It turns out, Yuki has brought it the fresh boar Nina killed before. The kind boy tells him that it's for him, and that he hopes the tiger can get out soon. Later, Yuki sees that his map is glowing brightly. He wonders if it means that a prisoner is nearby. He unrolls the map, and it glows again once he moves it in a certain direction. He realizes that it is showing him the correct way to go. He buries the map so no one with another map can tell he is coming. He then runs in the direction that the map was leading him. He finds two men who carry a copy of the map. These men are talking about how they should capture the demon tiger. Yuki recognizes them as Liam and John from the Yang family. The two Yangs head to the narrow path leading towards the tiger. Liam heads to the tiger first. He summons a wind demon that alerts the tiger. The tiger tries to get to Liam, but it can't reach him through the tight path. Liam makes insulting faces at the tiger to mock it. Yuki has secretly followed Liam on the path. He makes a thick ice wall behind Liam without him knowing. Liam wonders why it suddenly feels bitterly cold. Sharp ice swords get thrown at him just as he looks behind. Liam steps back so the swords only hit the hard ground. Yuki is up the high wall, and he tells Liam that the demon tiger can now reach him. Liam looks behind. The massive shadow of the tiger's huge paw gets closer. His terrified scream is so loud that John hears it from the other side. John quickly ran inside the narrow path. Meanwhile, Yuki is trying to reason with the tiger to accept his help. Still, the proud tiger rejects his offer again. John arrives and cries over the lifeless corpse of his brother. He then sees a path of ice swords and follows it. At the end of the path, he finds Yuki with Nina. John summons a magic circle, so Nina throws ice swords at him. John blocks it with his summoned rock armor skin. Yuki orders Nina to continue pummeling him with swords so the opponent won't have a chance to summon his soul pet. Suddenly, a burly man comes out of the narrow path and is riding a fierce bull soul pet. The man on the bull is Shang, the servant of the Yangs. Yuki worries since the bull is already at its 7th stage of form. John orders Shang to kill his brother's killer. Shang and his bull charge at Yuki. Yuki smiles calmly and then summons the demon tiger out from his soul plane. The tiger's deafening howl pushes the bull and Shang away. The mighty demon tigers stand beside Yuki and Nina as they face their enemies. When Yuki was much younger, a trusted soul pet of his betrayed him and left suddenly. Since the runaway soul pet still counted as a summoned pet, Yuki could only summon one soul pet at a time despite being at the rank of a soul warrior. Yuki became a sad joke in the city because of this, and was cruelly bullied by the Yangs for it. In the present, however, the demon tigers stand with Yuki and Nina to face a common enemy. John is utterly shocked that the demon tiger is willing to make a pact with Yuki. Shang corrects him by saying that the tiger is just helping the boy. The Yang servant summons a hunting wolf and a fearsome winged beast to help them in their fight. Yuki asks the demon tiger to face the newer soul pets. He then commands Nina to create a thick ice wall. A solid ice wall appears between Shang and John, separating them. It leaves the wolf and the beast to face off with the tiger, while Nina faces off with the bull. The angry bull charges at Nina. It wounds its arm, but Nina heals in the blink of an eye. John counts on Yuki's inability to summon more soul pets and summons a blade wing, which is a terrifying creature with combined scorpion and bird features. Both the bull and the blade wing rush at Nina. Both pets throw their projectile attacks, but Nina blocks them with an ice wall. Nina freezes the bull's feet and then throws its ice swords at the two pets, both of which are hurt by them. It forces John to summon another soul pet called the Star Wolf. The swift Star Wolf dashes at Nina and bites off her arm before the ice fairy realized what happened. It then ate the ice-made arm and chews on it. Nina is reeling in the sharp pain of her missing arm as she lies on the floor. To John, the sight of Yuki's soul pet struggling is deeply funny. Yuki puts Nina back in the safe soul plane. John wants to see what other soul pet Yuki has. Yuki summons Moxie. It makes John laugh even harder as he sees that all he has is a simple moonlight fox. He orders his star wolf to devour it quickly. The star wolf rushes at Moxie. Suddenly, Moxie transforms into its true flaming six-tailed demon fox form and bites the wolf on the nape. The fox's entire body agonizes in flame as a result. John is completely shocked to see the star wolf being killed so easily. He orders his blade wing to ignore the fox and kill Yuki instead. Yuki summons an ice warrior as the blade wing approaches. John challenges Yuki to see if his armor will outlast the fearsome blade wing. Moxie uses its evil glaze on the blade wing, destroying its will to fight in the process. Moxie lunges at John, so the man summons a soul pet desperately. Moxie destroys the soul pet the moment it gets summoned, leaving John cornered between the fox and the ice wall. John orders Shang to destroy the ice wall already. The demon tiger destroys it from the other side. John screams and cries as he sees that he is now completely alone. Yuki tells him that he will not escape. The tiger goes to Yuki and gets close to his face. The boy gets extremely nervous, as he might be thinking of eating him. It spits out Shang's mangled remains. Yuki sees that the tiger is so incredibly strong. He dreams about making it his soul pet and riding it. The jealous Moxie bites him on the head. Yuki pats the little fox on the head and tells it he is sure it will become stronger than the tiger someday. Yuki sees that Shang is wearing a space ring of his own. The curious boy picks it up and thinks he can store items in it. He concentrates, which makes the ring glow brightly. Yuki realizes that the ring contains a powerful soul armor. He concentrates further to insert his energy into the armor, so that he can summon it whenever he wants. He activates the armor. Moxie loves the armor on its master so much that it jumps and hugs him while he wears it. Yuki promises to get it one too, making the little fox very happy. He returns the armor inside the ring's space and summons healing bottles of medicine to let Nina recover. He also has the rare Cold Valley herb he got from the tiger's territory. Yuki sees that Nina's stomach is unusually large from consuming all the medicine to the last drop. It then rushes at Yuki to eat the herb. The moment she swallows, she gets her arm back as if nothing had happened. Yuki is truly glad to see that not only did Nina heal, but she also became much stronger. The confident boy smiles as he now imagines his revenge against Carl and the Yang family to be finally possible. 1 year later, a tree warrior soul pet is fighting off one of the dangerous prisoners of the island. The tree warrior defeats him and picks up the scroll he had. The soul pet gives it to Yuki, who is revealed to be its master. Yuki looks at the scroll and sees that the names of the last 1,000 prisoners are on it. Elsewhere, someone's map glows. It is revealed to be Carl's map, and he is glad that someone is coming in his direction so that he can kill. He smiles, eagerly excited for what will happen. It turns out Suzu is in the cave with Carl, so he gives her a sharp knife and tells her she knows what to do with it. Suzu is not responding, so Carl shouts angrily at her to answer. Suzu grabs both the shiny knife and the glowing map and answers that she will do what he says. Suzu goes out of the cave in search of the one coming. She remembers how she used to survive on the brutal prison island by letting unsuspecting men approach her and then killing them with a knife while they were completely distracted. She continues walking while wondering when her miserable lifestyle of survival will come to an end. She sits by the old tree without minding the heavy rain. She puts her knife behind her and waits for the person coming her way. She opens her tired eyes and is happy to see that it is Yuki. She tries to hug him, but the wary boy backs away and tells her that he knows that this is a trap. Suzu replies that she is just glad to see him since he is the only one she has seen in a while, except for Carl. Yuki asks her where Carl is, and she answers. Suzu urges him to run because she thinks he is no match for Carl. The boy just ignores her and heads to Carl. Meanwhile, Carl hears something and thinks Suzu is back. A knife suddenly heads toward him, and he barely dodges it. Yuki reveals himself and greets him sarcastically like an old friend. Carl is glad to find him since he planned to search for him after leaving the island anyway. Yuki makes a magic circle to summon a soul pet, but Carl throws the knife back, breaking the circle before it takes effect. Carl lets out his evil nightmare soul pet. It spits out hot fire, so Yuki runs away from the dark cave. Carl gets out to follow him. He sees that the boy has already summoned Moxie in its six-tailed flame form. Seeing such a rare soul pet shocks the former deacon. Carl summons a fierce wind demon soul pet, but Moxie slices through it like thin paper. Carl summons a massive hunting wolf, and it rams Moxie hard. Moxie recovers quickly and slays the wolf with one swift slice. Carl is getting increasingly angry, so he orders his terrifying nightmare pet to burn Yuki to death. Yuki summons a thick ice wall to protect Moxie. The nightmare's powerful attacks break through the wall, so Yuki sucks Moxie into the soul plane before the raging fireballs reach the fox. Yuki summons Nina next, and she looks much more mature than last year. Carl realizes he will have a difficult time if he lets an ice-type pet fight for too long with his fire-based nightmare. The nightmare fires a strong fire beam at the fairy. Nina creates a solid ice wall that protects her from the dangerous attack. Yuki orders Nina to make an ice dance. The graceful ice fairy dances, which creates a powerful blizzard that freezes the nightmare within a huge block of ice. Carl gets extremely scared and runs towards the cave. He trips, leaving him open to being frozen as well. Yuki gets near Carl's frozen body and tells him that he is about to die. Later, Suzu sees Carl's frozen, shattered corpse and cries in relief that she is free of him. It then dawns on her that no one is going to protect her now, and she worries about what will happen to her. Meanwhile, Yuki is inside the cave, looking through the treasure Carl has collected. He is glad to see that the former deacon has a lightning and fire double attribute soul crystal. Suzu enters the cave and hugs Yuki while asking him to bring her along with him. The boy rejects her request and tells her that her life is not his responsibility. The girl begs him not to abandon her and evoke his sympathy. Yuki tells her angrily that someone like her is not fit to be Tina's friend. He warns her not to follow him or else he will kill her. The girl is left alone, sobbing in the cave. Meanwhile, Yuki wonders how Tina is doing. He smiles, confident that his friend is alright. 2 years later, on a different island, Shin is feeding bread to some pigeons. He wonders if Yuki is still alive. He summons his flying tiger soul pet and orders it to go to Prison Island and bring Yuki to him if he is still alive. The flying tiger heads to the sky. On the remote Prison Island, Zetsu and Harold of the Yang family are trekking through the dense woods and are trying to find Yuki. Zetsu rants about how all they wanted was to stay on the island for a single year and get the family treasure back, only for their stay to get incredibly complicated because Yuki keeps killing their family. Zetsu is all fired up as he swears that he will kill the young boy. They continue walking until they reach the forest that is filled with silk webbing. They deduce that a powerful and ancient soul pet is in the middle of a slow metamorphosis. Harold fears the forest now and asks that they leave immediately. Zetsu laughs at him. Seeing this as a rare opportunity to capture an ancient soul pet, he envisions that having one means being able to dominate Luogang City. They cross the silk forest. They are in awe as they see Wormy's giant cocoon. The fearful Harold asks again to leave. Zetsu, on the other hand, runs towards the cocoon, declaring that it's his. They are even more surprised to see that Yuki is already next to the massive cocoon. Zetsu warns Yuki that the cocoon is his. He summons his soul pets, a thunder fairy and a winged trioptic beast, and lets them attack the boy. Moxie appears to block their way. The thunder fairy summons lightning to hit the fox. The Yangs anticipate that Yuki and his pet are already dead under all the thick smoke. They celebrate, only for the smoke to clear and to reveal that Yuki is riding the deer-like soul pet, Thunder Dream Beast. The majestic deer fires a powerful energy beam toward the Yangs. Zetsu counters with a magic shield. Harold comments on how incredibly lucky Yuki is to obtain such a mighty soul pet. Zetsu screams at him to stop talking and summon his soul pet immediately. Harold summons another trioptic beast and a hungry hunting wolf. Instead of fighting, Yuki runs away swiftly with his soul pets, while daring the Yangs to catch them. Harold's pets follow Yuki's group. Suddenly, the Thunder Dream Beast stops. It stares at the beasts, hypnotizing both them and their confused master. Harold and his soul pets see a terrifying swarm of bugs heading their way, so they panic and run wildly. Zetsu tells Harold that there are no bugs, but they still run away. The furious Zetsu tells Yuki that he will not fall under any of his Thunder Dream's sneaky tricks. Yuki tells him that he can't win against him without Harold on his side. Zetsu only grows even angrier and summons a gigantic poisonous millipede. Despite the giant millipede coming, Yuki and his brave soul pets remain perfectly calm. Yuki orders the Thunder Dream to face the Thunder Fairy, while ordering Moxie to face the three-eyed trioptic beast. The millipede spits out deadly poison, so the deer and the fox fire their projectiles to counter it effectively. Moxie jumps toward the trioptic beast behind the massive insect. While the millipede is distracted by Moxie, the Thunder Dream electrocutes the enormous insect. The Thunder Fairy summons crackling lightning, while the trioptic beast summons a powerful tornado to attack Moxie. Despite their combined efforts, Moxie is able to evade everything they throw. Moxie runs toward the beast while creating a double of itself. This confuses the confused trioptic beast, which opens it up to being slashed by the quick fox. The attack puts the beast's body under raging fire. Yuki warns Zetsu again that all of the Yangs will die on the cursed island. Zetsu looks at his burning pet and sees that he is deadly serious. Meanwhile, the bright fire can be seen from above the trees, where an old man is riding a flying trioptic beast of his own. He is Kuro of the Yang family. Kuro also spots Harold and his pets in a different area. He goes to them and sees they are utterly terrified of something. He realizes that they were hit by a powerful mental attack. He touches Harold's head, forcing him to snap out of his trance immediately. Harold tells Kuro about how Yuki attacked him and Zetsu. Kuro kicks Harold hard and tells him to lead the way quickly. Kuro and Harold are riding their soul beasts in the air to get to the battle. They see Zetsu, riding a griffin soul pet, heading their way. Zetsu begs Kuro to help them kill Yuki quickly. Kuro leads the way toward Yuki. Yuki sees Kuro in the air and realizes he needs to avoid a dangerous monster like him. He orders his loyal deer pet to retreat immediately. Kuro summons 2 powerful tornadoes, which chase after Yuki and his thunder dream. Every tree around Yuki disappears. It is revealed that Yuki summoned the tree warrior, who shields him and the thunder dream from total destruction. Kuro is genuinely surprised the boy survived. He chases after him and his soul pets again relentlessly. The tree warrior stays behind to face Kuro as he approaches. It creates a thick barrier of wood, but Kuro's beast tore through it, along with tearing the tree warrior's body to small pieces. Despite being in pieces, the tree warrior is still remarkably alive. Harold and Zetsu comment on how tree warriors are tough to slay without a fire-type soul pet. Meanwhile, Kuro has Yuki, who is now just ahead of Wormy's giant cocoon and is cornered by Kuro. Still, the confident boy smiles. This angers Zetsu, who thinks the boy is being arrogant to the end. The boy warns them that he did not run to this specific spot for nothing. His words make the Yangs nervous. Suddenly, the massive cocoon starts to crack. Out of its shell is Wormy, who now looks like a giant dragon. The Yangs run away from the terrifying monster. Wormy's massive movement sends winds so incredibly powerful it knocks the Yangs away from their flying soul pets, and they fall to the hard ground. Zetsu begs for Kuro to save him desperately. Meanwhile, Wormy's giant foot steps on Kuro's soul pet, killing it instantly. Kuro recognizes the dragon as the lost ancient soul pet. Wormy looks at Yuki with its giant eyes. Yuki instantly realizes that Wormy wants him to take care of the rest. Yuki uses a cold soul technique that encases the Yangs in ice. With a firm gripping of his hand, the Yangs shatter into a million tiny pieces. Yuki pets Wormy as if the dragon were still the same little worm the boy knew before. Suddenly, the weather changes to heavy rain. Yuki can tell that a powerful soul pet is coming. Wormy roars loudly towards the sky. He sees that there is a giant flying monster hiding just above the dark cloud. Wormy flies to it swiftly. Their clash creates an explosion of lightning. The angry tides grow, and the nearby volcanoes erupt. The very ground Yuki is standing on opens up. Yuki swears to Moxie that they will be as strong as Wormy and its mysterious opponent someday. Moxie agrees with a nod. The heavy rain stops, signaling to Yuki that the fierce battle has ended. The beaten Wormy falls from the sky, so Yuki runs to it quickly. The giant dragon's fall breaks the solid ground underneath it. The worried Yuki asks if it is okay. The majestic giant dragon magically gets smaller and smaller until it is only slightly bigger than a normal human. Wormy tells the boy to leave it since someone is after its life. The dragon gets up and spits out an egg that it gives to Yuki. The grateful boy realizes that Wormy wants him to sign a contract with the pet inside so that it can protect him once it gets stronger. The dragon nods in approval. It then senses something closing by in the sky. Wormy looks at Yuki one last time. Yuki swears that he will protect the egg no matter what. Wormy then flies to the gray sky and leaves him be. Meanwhile, people are riding winged red lions near the island. The leader of the group tells the others that the Empyrean hidden dragon has been spotted. The leader is known as Ting. He orders one of his men to head to Prison Island and find the egg the dragon most likely left behind. Ting remembers how their leader told him to find the powerful soul egg no matter what. Ting and his followers follow Wormy as it flies through the sky. Meanwhile, Yuki has already stored the valuable egg in his space ring. He returns to the Demon Tiger's territory, where the map shows where the Yang's final treasure is. He summons Moxie and orders it to dig. The little fox digs, sending sand all over the boy. Inside the area where Moxie was digging is the treasure chest. Yuki picks up the chest and opens it carefully. Inside is the ancient scroll glowing in bright golden light, which he recognizes as the scroll for the rare soul technique with a very high perfection rate. Inside are intricate patterns of perfect magic circles that no one can photocopy, which brings out a soul technique's full potential. Yuki reads that it is a powerful technique that increases the user's combat ability. He is truly glad to finally get a powerful soul technique. He then spots the majestic winged tiger and gets extremely excited to leave. Meanwhile, in Nightmare City, people are gathered in the Nightmare Arena, where they are competing against each other using their soul pets. In the area of the arena where the important guest seats are, Shin is talking to Lord Zoran, who believes his best subordinate, Jared, will win the competition. Song, the Blue Nightmare Palace branch's eldest son, bets against Zoran's subordinate. Zoran warns him that no one can beat his Jared, not even him easily. Song puts a high-level soul crystal on the table and proposes that Zoran can have it if he can't beat Jared within 10 minutes. Zoran asks Song what he wants if he wins. Song replies that all he wants is the simple joy of beating Jared in front of him. The two men stare at each other with tense auras. Meanwhile, in the ring, Jared has just won a fight. Song jumps down to the ring and declares that the countdown has started. Zoran is shocked to see that his champion, Jared, has been defeated in only 7 minutes. Song brags about how Jared won't be able to beat him even if he has 10 years to train. The arrogant Song asks Shin to end the competition, since he is obviously the winner. Shin suggests that he wait a little longer before he decides that for himself. Song asks him why, when no one in the arena is a match for him. Shin tells him someone truly strong is coming. Song demands to know who. Shin looks at the sky. Song looks up too. They see Yuki standing on the flying winged tiger. Yuki jumps off the flying winged tiger and into the dusty ring. He stinks so badly that Song thinks Shin is joking when he says the boy is truly strong. Shin orders his loyal maid Fishy to go down and wash Yuki thoroughly first before the battle. Yuki insists on going ahead with the battle now since he does not want to shower again after he defeats Song. The boy's harsh words insult Song so deeply that he tells Shin he cannot guarantee not killing him. Shin permits him to kill the boy if he can. Song tells Yuki to summon his soul pet immediately. Shin informs the boy that they can only summon one single soul pet and cannot switch to another. Yuki asks Song to summon his pet first. Song laughs loudly, believing the boy just wants him to go first to gain a small advantage. He agrees to summon first, thinking his tricks won't work on him. Song summons a terrifying blue nightmare. Yuki sees it and summons Nina in turn. Song thinks his soul pet is pathetic and is confident he can win within 3 short minutes. Zoran is on the sidelines, wondering why Yuki summoned a weak pet that is considered unworthy to fight a blue nightmare. Shin advises Zoran to wait and see patiently. The blue nightmare throws a hot fireball at its opponent. Nina counters with a thick wall of ice that bounces the fireball away harmlessly. Nina comes out of the ice wall and does her ice dance, which activates a powerful blizzard that freezes the blue nightmare solid. Song is smiling at the ice fairy's feeble attempt to restrain his blue nightmare. The nightmare surrounds itself with swirling blue fire to create a raging fire tornado. Meanwhile, Nina is summoning her sharp ice swords. The blue tornado sucks Nina in and turns her to nothing. Now, Yuki is alone with the blue nightmare stalking him menacingly. Song confidently asserts that the victor has been decided already. Shin is drinking his hot coffee, confident that he is wrong. Zoran says he is bored because the battle ended so incredibly quickly. Shin informs him and the entire arena that the ability called Ice Mirror is very different from the more well-known Ice Wall and that people easily mix them up. Zoran wonders what he means exactly. Meanwhile, in the ring, Nina comes out of the ice mirror as if it were made of water. It makes Song realize that the one who disappeared before was just a fake double. Nina drops her sharp ice swords on the blue nightmare, pinning it to the ground. Nina then grabs a sword and stabs the nightmare in the chest. Yuki tells Song that his battle awareness is absolutely terrible and that he would have killed him if Shin is not stopping him. His cold words hurt Song's pride, so he summons 2 more soul pets in the field. This leads to Yuki summoning Moxie. The fox's staring ability paralyzes the pets instantly. Yuki returns Song's words that his tricks are completely useless before him. The frightened Song asks who he really is. Shin comes down to the ring to tell Song that the boy is the king of Prison Island. Song can't comprehend how a young 8-year-old like him could have conquered notorious Prison Island. Yuki approaches Shin, demanding that he fulfill his promise from 3 years ago of giving him absolute freedom if he conquered Prison Island. Shin says he will fulfill this promise to return him to the Chu clan, but wants him to do something for him first. Yuki asks him what he wants. Shin declares he wants him to be Princess Joanna's personal squire, with the title of Nightmare Prince. Zoran is so utterly shocked that he spills his mug of coffee as he stands up from his chair. The Nightmare Prince is said to have the power equivalent to Nightmare City's master. Shin's servants in the ring kneel before Yuki as if he were their rightful superior. Shin tells Fishy to bring Yuki to the Nightmare Palace. Shin comments ominously about how he likes the boy's demon fox. Yuki stares at him, wary of what the man is planning. Just as Yuki is leaving, Song shouts at him to tell him he will get his revenge. Fishy tours Yuki through the Nightmare Palace and gives him all the details of where he can and cannot go. She shows him to his living quarters, where everything looks comfortable. Yuki cries as he remembers sleeping on the cold floor for years. Fishy tells him that he can return to his family while waiting for Shin's orders, The maid won't tell details of what Shin wants from the boy, only that he is needed to get rid of the Yang family. Yuki thinks about how Shin seems to want Moxie and how this means he needs to break out of Shin's control quickly. A servant comes in to tell the new Nightmare Prince that servant girls have been readied for him. Young women wearing maids' outfits come into Yuki's room. The only one who does not look nervous is Tina, who is among them. All 10 girls bow before Yuki. Yuki can tell that all of them are scared of him, making the boy feel like he is in a difficult situation. The manservant reports to Yuki that one of the girls came from the island he came from. Tina has not given her potential master a good look yet, and hates that the man mentioned that. Yuki tells the manservant he picks the girl who came from the same island as him, and also the blonde one at the center. Yuki goes to the next room while telling the 2 girls he picked to prepare a bath for him. Tina and the blonde girl, Quinn, are scared that their new master will do awful things to them. Yuki, in the other room, calls Quinn to him. The girl goes to him, all while crying. Quinn does not come out of the room for a long time, so Tina panics that something awful must be going on. She enters the room, determined to save her friend. She is surprised to see that Quinn is just cutting her new master's hair in front of the mirror and looks happy. Tina sees that her new master is Yuki. She cries as she hugs the boy tightly. Meanwhile, at the Blue Nightmare Palace, Song's father, Singer, the Blue Nightmare Lord, has just heard of Yuki from his son, and hates the news that he is now the Nightmare Prince. Song asks that his father do something about Yuki. The father promises that he will get him his revenge, but that they should be careful since they cannot attack him out in the open. People outside the palace keep talking about Yuki, and how more and more people want to challenge the boy to a soul pet duel. Meanwhile, Yuki has just fed soul cores to both Nina and Moxie to make them stronger. Tina and Quinn enter his quarters and give him the piles of challenge letters they received. Yuki asks who is the strongest among the challengers. Tina picks out the 5 strongest among those who sent challenge letters. Yuki tells her to arrange a duel where he faces all 5 of them at the same time. Tina does not question it, while Quinn is love-struck that her master is so strong. Meanwhile, Singer just heard from Song that Yuki will face 5 soul pet masters at once and is shocked. Both father and son think the boy is too arrogant. Song orders his servant, Trevor, to accompany him tomorrow to watch the duel. The mysterious and hooded Trevor answers his lord. The next day, at the arena, the Nightmare Palace lords are in their special seats and await the duel. Among them are the long-haired Luno and the Green Nightmare Palace lord. Yuki sees Luno and asks who he is and why everyone seems to be showing him respect. Quinn tells him that he is a Nightmare Prince adjudicator who has authority over all Nightmare Princes and also the judge of the duel. Luno announces the duel to begin. Yuki and the 5 challengers gather in the ring. One of the 5, Gohan, tells Yuki he will be the one to defeat him and summons his blue Nightmare Evil Soul Pet. The Nightmare throws serpent-shaped flames. Yuki summons Nina, who blocks the flames. Nina throws ice swords, but the Nightmare evaporates them with flames. Nina throws more ice swords until one bypasses the flame and is about to get to the Blue Nightmare. The Nightmare gets hit and disappears. Gohan suddenly feels cold and then gets encased in ice. The boy breaks into pieces before the other challengers. Bruno yells at Yuki for breaking the rules by killing his disciple. Luno corrects him, stating that he did not mean to kill the boy, only that he died as a result of the Blue Nightmare dying first. Yuki warns the other challengers that he might accidentally kill them, too, making them too scared to go on with the fight. All 4 challengers give up. Trevor steps up and asks Luno if he can join the fight. He steps into the ring and tells Yuki he will be his next opponent. The crowd cheers as they want to see Trevor fight. Tina reports to Yuki that Trevor is Blue Nightmare's strongest fighter and asks that he be careful. Song is at his seat, glad that Yuki is about to die. Princess Joanna arrives, leading the crowd to whisper about her appearance. All Nightmare Palace lords bow before her. Even Yuki and Trevor kneel to pay their respects. Song offers for her to sit beside him, but the princess ignores him and walks away. She, instead, sits at the very center. The princess tells Luno that she came to see her squire fight 5 people. Luno reports to her that the challengers already surrendered and that the boy will fight Trevor instead. He asks the princess who she thinks will win. Joanna answers that she trusts her squire will win no matter what. Yuki and Trevor stare each other down. Trevor summons 2 of his blue nightmares. They charge at Yuki. Yuki orders Nina to float and give the tree warrior ice armor. Nina goes to the sky, while the tree warrior digs foes underground. The blue nightmares follow Nina and are about to drop a flaming boulder on her. The tree warrior's vines sprout from the ground and bind the nightmares. They burn their vines and go free. The flames from the vines are about to travel underground, but Nina cuts the vines before they do. Trevor is getting annoyed, so he orders the nightmares to attack Yuki directly. The huge nightmares rush towards Yuki. The nightmares are about to punch Yuki, yet he stands calm. Yuki activates a soul technique, letting him jump high into the air before the nightmares can get to him. They punch the ground instead, and it breaks into a sinking pit that pulls them in. The tree warrior's vines pull them in deeper. Nina then lets a shower of ice swords fall at them. Luno is clapping from his seat. The nightmares continue to be barraged with ice swords, so their energy is depleting. Trevor summons another blue nightmare. Princess Joanna watches and wants to see what her squire will do now. Yuki returns the tree warrior to the soul plane. Yuki believes that Trevor is cheating somehow to summon a third nightmare and plans to expose him. He summons Moxie to take the tree warrior's place. Joanna asks why Yuki is not summoning a third soul pet. Shin reports to her that Yuki was abandoned by a soul pet before, and so can't summon a third one. It impresses the princess even more that Yuki survived the prison island, despite his disadvantage. Moxie uses his multiple tails like a whip and bats the third nightmare into the air. The other two nightmares throw fire lances at the fox. The flame lances from above are about to hit Moxie. Nina summons ice walls that change the lance's trajectory. Moxie multiplies its body into 3, then instantly kills 2 of the nightmares with united attacks. The crowd worries that Trevor will end up dead like Gohan too. Trevor concentrates hard to form a barrier around him. Luno comments that he is using soul remembrance protection to protect his spirit plane. Luno, however, knows that the man still suffers from the pain his nightmares endured. The pain exhausts Trevor so much that he goes to his knees. Nina makes an iceberg fall on Trevor. The nightmare sees it and throws a flame lance at the ice and breaks it. Moxie runs towards Trevor. It turns out one of the nightmares lying on the ground is still alive and grabs Moxie before it can go to their master. Meanwhile, Nina summons ice that immobilizes the other nightmare's movements. Luno continues to be impressed by Yuki's actions. The nightmare breaks out of the ice and goes towards Yuki. The crowd thinks Yuki is about to die. Just as the nightmare's arm is about to get to Yuki, the boy summons his white nightmare, which grabs the blue nightmare by the throat. The crowd is terrified to see a white nightmare. The creature continues to tighten its grip on the blue nightmare. Luno is shocked as well and wonders how Yuki possesses a monarch-ranked white nightmare. Shin explains that it is the same white nightmare that devoured King Beiyu. Luno is shocked, especially since the white nightmare supposedly died. Shin explains that he could not kill such a powerful soul pet and had the white nightmare form a soul pact with a myriad of children, but only Yuki survived until now. Luno looks at Shin like he's a lunatic. Bruno watches with worry if the white nightmare will devour the blue nightmare. It sucks the soul of the blue nightmare. It leads to Trevor feeling intense pain. Joanna declares that the duel is over and announces Yuki as the winner. Everyone cheers. Luno claps for Yuki. Bruno quietly controls his anger. Meanwhile, the 4 challengers are just relieved they did not fight the boy. Joanna asks Yuki how he lost one of his soul pets. The boy answers that his pet defected. The princess praises the boy for surviving so much and becoming so strong despite his disadvantage. She shows him a gauntlet she says is the 6th level of soul armor as his reward. The crowd is shocked that the princess is willing to give away high-ranking armor that is worth millions. She hands it to Yuki, who is just as shocked as the crowd. Yuki bends the knee to her. At the Blue Nightmare Palace, Song keeps complaining to his father about how Yuki keeps getting away from punishment. Singer slaps his son in the face. He tells his son that he will let his subordinate, Nightmare Prince Lawson, and the Yang family take care of the matter. He smiles maniacally at the thought of the Yang family killing the boy. Meanwhile, Yuki and Tina are riding winged horses while traveling. Tina sees Yuki yawning and suggests that they find a hotel for him to rest. They land at the hotel and walk its halls. They overhear 2 people talking about the Chu family and how they need to help them. Yuki hides behind the wall and tries to hear what they are saying. Turk, the servant, tries to convince his mistress, Lana, not to help the Chu family because the Yangs are after them. Lana does not like the idea of them just allowing Niles Chu's trade team to be robbed. Turk worries that they would be in trouble if the Yangs find out about them interfering. Turk senses someone near and demands that the listeners come out. Yuki and Tina come out. Yuki asks if it is true that the Yang family is going to rob the Chu trade team. Turk says he is being disrespectful for listening in on their conversation. Yuki sees Lana and remembers her as the little girl he used to play with. Yuki asks if she is Lana. Lana does not recall ever meeting Yuki. The boy knowing his mistress's name makes Turk suspicious and makes him want to interrogate them. Tina asks that they forgive Yuki since he just wants to help out the Chu family. Lana asks why they should believe them. Yuki reveals that he came from the Chu family and that he traveled to Luo City to help them. Lana and Turk stare at the boy with suspicion since they don't believe him. Turk warns Lana that Yuki might be a spy from the Yang family. Lana tells the man that while they can't help the Chu family, they can't stop others from helping them. Yuki does not want to delay and asks where the nearest Chu members are so he can alert them. Lana tells him that there are no Chu members in the vicinity. Yuki is shocked and worried since this means the family has truly fallen. Elsewhere, the next day, many guards protecting a caravan were slain by Genus Yang and his men. The guard leader tells Niles Chu that he cannot die here. Niles insists on staying and fighting since losing the goods is hard to salvage. The guard leader sees an attack coming and pushes Niles out of the way. Thunder zaps the leader and many of his men, killing them. Niles screams for his loyal servant. Genus and Bean from the Yang family simply smile at his misery. Niles stands his ground and summons a light rhino soul pet. Bean thinks it is beneath Genus to face the light rhino, so he volunteers to take care of it. Bean summons two winged, reptilian beasts. They fight the rhino until it is down. Niles closes his eyes and accepts his fate. Suddenly, the Thunder Dream Deer rams the trioptic beast away from Niles. Niles sees the graceful deer and is shocked that there is reinforcement. Yuki reveals himself. Niles cries as he recognizes him as his brother. Their reunion is cut short as the other trioptic beast is about to strike Yuki from behind. Yuki uses the soul technique of the Charm Evil spell on the beast. It makes the beast paralyzed in fear. The Thunder Dream Deer rams the beast while it is distracted, injuring it. Bean returns his soul pet to the soul plane to let it recover. Yuki helps Niles up. Niles cries as he thinks he has been dead all this time. He hugs Yuki tightly and tells him he is glad he is back. Genus interrupts their reunion to threaten them with death. Genus sees something coming from the sky. It is Lana and Tina riding their flying soul pets to get to the battleground. They land next to Niles and Yuki. Genus summons two ferocious-looking soul pets. Niles pleads with his brother to run away since his deer is no match for Genus's soul pets. Yuki moves forward towards the villains and tells his brother that he will be the one protecting him this time. Yuki orders Tina to protect Niles while he takes care of Genus and his pets. Lana also says she will help out. Yuki summons Nina. Both opposing parties rush at each other. Nina freezes the enemy soul pet's footing. Then the Thunder Dream Deer fires an energy beam at the winged beast, knocking it out. The Death Scorpion breaks free from the ice, but Nina summons ice walls that trap it. Genus returns the beast to his soul plane. He then summons a four-winged demon snake, which is far larger than any pet in the field. Niles pleads with Tina to help Yuki face the demon snake. Yuki tells his brother that he is no longer the same weak person he knew before. Yuki orders the Thunder Dream and Nina to attack it. The deer uses its energy beam on it, while Nina creates a cold tornado. The snake gets wrapped around the tornado. It turns out the tornado is made of circling ice crystals, which wounds the serpent in all directions. It forces Genus to use ice armor to create an armor of ice around the demon snake. The snake turns frozen like a statue within the armor. Nina pulls out a sword and stabs the armored snake. She finds that the armor is empty and that she only broke a shell. The snake rises out of the ground from behind Nina. Genus anticipates that Nina is about to die. The snake swallows Nina whole. A second later, the snake vomits up the ice fairy. Genus is confused. Yuki informs him that his ice fairy has tough ice armor, and his snake is too weak to break it. Genus activates a technique that covers his snake in an armor of smoky venom. It attacks Nina, but she simply slashes the venom to remove it. She then fires ice crystals at the snake, which finally slays it. Nina stabs Genus with ice poison before the man can react. Genus drinks an antifreeze potion to neutralize it. He recovers, but he sees that even his death scorpion has been defeated by the Thunder Dream. He runs away and summons a giant bird to ride on it. Yuki summons Moxie and rides on him to chase after Genus. Meanwhile, Lana has already beaten up Genus's men. Lana is happy to see that the Chu family has a strong ally in Yuki. Niles warns Tina that Genus knows the landscape and can escape if they don't chase after him. Both Lana and Tina agreed to chase the man. Meanwhile, Yuki is still on Genus's tail. Moxie launches fireballs at the flying bird, but it successfully evades them. Moxie jumps so high up that he gets on top of Genus. Moxie slices Genus, putting him and his bird on fire until they are in small pieces. Yuki and Moxie are celebrating, only to realize that they are already falling off the edge of a cliff. They hug each other in fear as they fall. Yuki and Moxie fall through the trees until they land on the ground. The others are on the cliff and saw the two fall. Niles worries that they fell off the Phoenix Cliff. Turk explains that the Phoenix Cliff is a famously dangerous place filled with strong soul pets. Lana assures everyone that her flame bird can fly down and rescue them. She summons the flame bird and rides it. Turk shouts at her to be extremely careful. Lana sees smoke from the ground and thinks it might be coming from Moxie. A flock of black birds sees Lana and her soul pet and attacks them like a flying stampede that causes them to fall. Turk worries for his mistress. Tina hopes that both Yuki and Lana will be okay. Lana sees that she is about to land on a group of running rhinos. She closes her eyes as she sees a rhino about to hit her. Moxie and Yuki grab her before the rhino hits. Yuki asks if she is okay. While frozen in fear, the girl answers that she is fine. Moxie is angry since Lana is riding them when only Yuki is allowed. The fox runs as an army of rhinos and birds chase after them. Later, Yuki looks out of the bushes and sees that they have lost the soul pets. He notices that Lana is already asleep on his shoulder and does not know what to do. Lana wakes up, leaning against a tree. Yuki sees she is up and gives her a pile of fruits for her to eat. Yuki is excited since many advanced rank soul pets in the land mean they can tame one. Lana warns him that the soul pets in the land are too dangerous. Yuki corrects her, saying it is only dangerous for them to bring it along. Lana gets so angry that she grips the apple she's holding to pieces. They trek through the forest until they see a trail of pink petals on the ground. Yuki lets it fly in the air. He tells Lana that the winds suspiciously changed direction and thinks that a special soul item must be the cause. He orders Moxie to check around. Moxie leaves them and comes back. The fox is so quick to return that Lana thinks it found nothing. Moxie tells its master that it found something, proving the girl wrong. The fox leads them to a group of shell-armored feline soul pets that are by a lake. Lana remembers that the armored feline is the Chu family symbol and thinks they should tame one. Yuki answers that he only tames high-quality soul pets. He asks that they look for the special item somewhere in the lake instead. Lana looks harder and sees a sky demon orchid at the center of the lake, which she says can be sold expensively. She wants to grab it, but Yuki suggests she look again. Three-headed serpent-like abyss water demon come out of the water and are guarding the orchid. The three-headed demon guards the orchid closely. Yuki admits it's going to be tough to beat. Lana suggests they tame one of the sleeping armored felines instead. Yuki inspects its body and deduces that it is weak. He orders Moxie to chase away the armored felines while ordering Nina to get the sky demon orchid. Moxie dashes through the armored felines, which makes them topple like bowling pins. Meanwhile, Nina is facing the three-headed demon. Lana volunteers to help with her soul pet, but Yuki tells her not to interfere. Nina summons a sword and slices the demon. It leads the three-headed demon to be frozen, along with the lake. Still, the demon breaks free. Lana admits that Yuki does not need her help. She turns around and sees that Moxie is still fighting one of the armored felines. The feline falls, but it gets back up and spits a projectile at Moxie. Moxie swats the attack away, and it hits and breaks a tree instead. The feline then charges at Moxie, only for the fox to hit it and send it flying to hit a tree. The feline gets back up and faces Moxie again. Lana admires its perseverance. Yuki smiles as he looks at the feline with interest. Lana asks Yuki if he is interested in the armored feline because it is persistent. Yuki answers that he wants it for a different reason. He orders Moxie to wound the feline. The fox slashes it, and it leaves an open wound. The wound instantly closes up. Yuki deduces that the feline has a recovery rate that is 6 times more powerful than Moxie. He asks Moxie to fight the feline for a while to see if it has other abilities. Meanwhile, Nina hands the sky demon orchid to Yuki. Meanwhile, Moxie keeps beating up the feline. Yuki is satisfied and sees that there is nothing special about the feline aside from its recovery rate, and it is even weaker than average beast types. They leave behind the feline. Later at night, while the group is sleeping, Moxie wakes up after hearing something coming. It is the armored feline that lunges at Moxie, only for the fox to simply whip it with its tail to defeat it. The next day, while the group is trekking through the forest, the feline attacks Moxie again, only for the fox to swat it away. It attacks Moxie every day, only to return for the next beating. Lana advises the feline to stop already. Yuki can tell it won't stop anytime soon and allows the soul pet to follow them. Meanwhile, at the Luo City Yang family castle, Mando, the head of the Yangs, has just heard from a messenger that Janice and Bean have just been killed by a mysterious young man. The messenger said that he did not know who the young man was and was just glad to escape by faking his death. Mando's son, Nero, tells his father that it might be the person who has been interfering with the Yangs recently. Mando sends the messenger out to spy on the Chu family for the time being. Nero thinks that the attacker might be the new Nightmare Prince everyone has been talking about. He believes it is he who also killed all the Yangs at the prison island, and that he must have their treasure with him now. Mando smiles, confident they can kill the Nightmare Prince. Mando informs his son that they will send Lord Yang to take care of their enemy, giving Nero confidence that their problems will be solved soon. Mando asks his son how his third soul pet is recovering. Nero answers that it is almost fully recovered. Mando is frustrated with his son because he keeps signing contracts with random soul pets, like the armored feline from the Chu family. Nero justifies that he did not foresee that the armored feline would be so weak. The father comforts his son by telling him he will give him a high-level soul pet soon. Back at Phoenix Cliff, Lana is getting tired since they have been in the forest for days now. Yuki informs her that armored felines have illusion abilities that might be causing them to walk the forest in circles. She says that they will die soon. Lana cries, not wanting to die. Yuki says he was just joking and that a forest illusion is easy for him to beat. This leads the girl to punch the boy. The boy gets back up and notices an armored feline has arrived with armor tougher than that of others of its kind. Yuki summons the tree warrior to capture it. The warrior binds the feline with its vines until it is caged in a ball made of vines. It breaks through the ball, but the smaller armored feline that has been following the group for days rams it. Yuki understands that it wants to solo the enemy feline. The bigger armored feline lunges at the other. The small feline launches a fire beam at the enemy. The enemy feline counters with a lightning energy beam. The beam is so powerful that it causes an explosion as it hits the smaller feline. The larger feline readies to attack the smaller one while it's down. Lana watches in horror as the bigger feline continues to strike at the smaller one. Yuki wonders what the bigger feline experienced that made it so cruel. At Luo City, the three heads of the Chu family meet up with Niles at the Chu family's Great Hall. Niles informs his grandfather, Morley, that Yuki is alive. Morley is shocked. Another head, Dory, asks Niles if he is sure. Niles informs them that Yuki rescued his caravan from the Yangs, but he fell into the descent of the Phoenix Cliff as a result. The third head, Bridger, thinks that Yuki's story that he is now powerful enough to defeat expert soul masters is too good to be true. Niles keeps his anger in and tells the heads that he knows Yuki is still alive after falling off the cliff. Morley asks his son, Bridger, how many men they can send to rescue Yuki, but Bridger objects to the plan. Morley slams his chair and tells his son that he will rescue Yuki no matter how many men they send. Bridger pleads with him to consider the Chu family first. Both family heads stare tensely at each other. Morley reluctantly backs down. Niles pleads with the heads to change their minds. Bridger tells him that he has no right to demand things from them. Niles complains that Bridger was the one who did not give Yuki guards in the past, which led to him being kidnapped, and accuses him of not wanting to save him now so he wouldn't return. Morley insists that the matter has ended. Both Bridger and Niles silence themselves. Bridger stands up from his seat and passes Niles as he walks away. He tells Niles that he did not need to exaggerate that Yuki killed Genus just so they would be persuaded to save the boy. The moment Bridger leaves, Dory complains to Morley that he should not have given Bridger so much power within the family. Dory insists that Yuki is his brother's only child and that he will save Yuki no matter what. He stands up from his seat and tells Niles they are going to rescue Yuki. Just before Dory leaves the room, Morley calls for him. Morley gives him the Chu family token, which he says he can use to gather Chu family guards to leave the city. Morley is left alone in the Great Hall. He cries as he swears he will still treat Yuki as his grandson, even if he is still unable to summon a single soul pet today.